Okay, well done. Someone saying that they have been doing this. Very good. Just mute, unmuted. Okay. Right. Can we have everybody's mics on, please, and muted?
Why is that thing working?
Mariam, can I ask you to mute your mic? Anybody else is unmuted? Okay, excellent. Well done. Okay, let's get started then. Assalamu alaikum. Well done, everybody. Welcome to, it's lesson 3 actually. Sorry, so I haven't updated that, but it's welcome to lesson 3. And that's not the correct date either. So I hope I have the right slides open. Let's get started and we'll see, inshallah. Right, so I'm not going to go through the classroom rules in much detail because I'm sure you know them by now. Well done, everybody, for coming in on time. Make sure you listen carefully. And can you please mute your mics? No one's to unmute their mic, please, unless you've been asked to. If you have any questions or you'd like to answer a question, please write it in the chat group, in the chat section. But please don't write anything there if you've not been asked to write, okay? Because it's not for anything else, just answers or a specific question, okay? And please complete the tasks as we do them, because it means that you'll be learning as we're going through. So make sure you try and do the tasks as we go through, inshallah. Okay, and no writing on the board unless I ask you to. So I might ask you to do an activity on the screen. And at that point you can draw, but otherwise it has been disabled, okay? Right, excellent, let's get started. So to begin with, I just wanted to say Ramadan Mubarak to you all. I hope you have a lovely Ramadan. It sounds like some of you have been fasting, so that's really, really good. Well done, I'm very impressed with you. They're quite long fasts, but inshallah you'll be getting lots and lots of reward for keeping the fast. And if you're not fasting, I'm sure you're doing lots of other good things during this month of Ramadan, okay? So we are going to talk about Ramadan and fasting, but not in very much in today's session, inshallah in one of our next sessions we will. Right. Now, before we begin, a couple of children, I think it was just 2, I received some work from them, so I just wanted to share it with you. Amir Ahmed Ali, I think his father sent an email with his work in, so it was nice to see that you created the kalma, and I'm not sure what you used, but it's quite nice because you put foil on top of it, so it's nice and silver, and you've got the pictures there in order, so well done, that was very good. Now in the chat, can I just ask you to stop writing whether you're fasting and eat Ramadan Mubarak to each other, because I really want you to concentrate on today's lesson now, okay? So no more chatting, otherwise we'll have to switch it off. All right. So that was Amir Ahmed Ali's work. Thank you, Amir Ahmed, for sharing that. It's lovely. And I also have another piece of work from Elisa Zaidi, and she has drawn a picture and described what you wash when you do wudu. So she did a Mr. Wudu, or actually it's a Mrs. Wudu here. And then we also have, she made a poster, I think, on the computer about Allah making everything, and she's got some lovely pictures of the things that Allah has made. So well done. And I've heard that some or more of you have done your work. So well done to everybody who has done your work. Keep it up, and inshallah we'll do another activity today, and you can share that with us next week, before next week. Okay. So before we begin, of course, we are going to start with our dua, and hopefully you all know it. So I would like you to say it in your houses, say it out nice and loud so we know that you're saying it and you can hear yourself. And we want you to say the dua for increasing your knowledge. Rabbi Zidni Ilma. Okay, so can you all say that? I'm hoping you've all said that. I'm just going to check. It looks like someone's unmuted. Right. Now everyone has been muted. Okay, can you still hear me? I think I just want to check I'm not muted. Yeah. Somebody's unmuted their mic. Can you please, everybody, mute your mic? Otherwise, we will have to ask admin to remove you from the session today, because it's a bit disturbing when people mute their mics. Background. Right, okay, thank you. Now let's move on. Now we had our dua, hopefully you recited it all together. My Lord, increase me in knowledge. Rabbi zidni ilma. All right, so let's carry on. Sorry, it's not changing. Today's session, we are going to be looking in a guide. We're going to be looking at Adala, Nabuwa, and Imama. And then in our fifth section, we will be talking about Salah. All right. So just to quickly though, revise or recap what we did last week. Here we have the kalma. If you remember, we were speaking about the meaning of the lines in the kalma. So hopefully you remembered. I'd like you to, in the chat, write down what letter goes with the meaning of La ilaha illallah. What does La ilaha illallah mean? So which letter? D. Okay, well done. Good to see some right answers, correct answers. There is no God but Allah. Well done. Now, let's check you are correct. Yeah, and now we have Muhammad Rasulullah. What does that, which one of those is the correct meaning for Muhammad Rasulullah? Well done, Elena and Minal. You got that very quickly. Sayyid Rizvi, excellent. So Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the messenger of Allah. Well done. Okay. Moses Shah, can you just write the answer once? Otherwise, it gets very confusing in the chat. So somebody else, Shazin as well, you only need to write the letter once, please. Thank you. Right, the next line is Aliun Waliullah, and that means, oh, let's go ahead. Imam Ali alayhi salam is the one who is close to Allah. So which letter was that? Which letter was that? E, thank you. Well done, it was E. Okay, Rasul Rasulullah is Imam Ali alayhi salam is the leader of the Prophet. C, well done. Okay, and wa khalifatuhu bilafas. What does that mean? Which one is which line goes with that? Yes, B. Imam Ali alayhi salam is the true leader. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Well done. Now I think I'm going to stop the chat because it looks like some of you are being a bit silly in the chat there. All right, we only need to write the letter once. And we don't need to keep repeating it. So well done to those of you who are using it sensibly, but unfortunately not all of you are. You need to write the letter once only. Thank you. All right, I'm going to warn you this time. If I find that people are being silly, then I might have to ask admin to ask you to remove you from the group today. Thank you. All right, we're going to now revise the Usul-ud-Din. Now, Usul-ud-Din are the roots of Islam. So we have to remember, and if you remember from last week, that our roots need to be strong. We need to have strong roots in order to be good Muslims, okay? So our Usul-ud-Din are 5. There are 5 Usul-ud-Din, and we're going to go through them now. So the first one is Tawheed, which is Allah is one. Inshallah, you all remember it from last week. Adala, which means Allah is just, okay? Then we have Nabuwa, which is that Allah sent 124,000 prophets to guide us, and Imama, which means that Allah sent the Imams to guide us, and there were 12 Imams that have been sent to guide us, and also the day of Qiyamah, so Qiyamah, the day of judgment. All right, so these are our 5 roots that we have to believe in strongly. Okay, so there were some quick questions here. I think I'm going to move on to the session today. So we don't waste any time. Hopefully you all remember what we did last week. Then we're going to move on to Adala, which is the second Usul-ud-Din. We spoke about Tawheed last week, and now we're going to move on to Adala. Now, Adala means that Allah is just. Okay, so I have a story about 2 people in hospital. So have a listen to the story and try and think about how does the story relate or link to Allah being just. Okay. 2 men, Kareem and Adil, shared a hospital room. Kareem had his bed next to the only window in the room, while Adil's bed was far from the window. Kareem was allowed to sit up for 1 hour every day, and he loved looking out of the window during that time. Bilal, though, was too unwell to even sit up. The 2 men were good friends and would spend the whole day chatting with each other and telling each other about their family, friends, and their lives. When Kareem was able to sit up and look out of the window, for that 1 hour, he would describe everything outside. He would describe to Adil the beautiful blue sky with white clouds, the lush green grass, the pink flowers, the pulp apples dangling from the apple tree, and the colorful birds that would always come and sit out on the trees. He would also talk about the people on the streets doing interesting things. Adil sometimes thought to himself, "This is so unfair. Why does Kareem get to sit by the window and see everything? I also want to look outside." Now, a few days later, Kareem passed away to meet Allah. So Adil was moved next to the window. He was so excited to finally be able to look outside and see the beautiful scenery that Kareem used to describe. When he finally sat up, though, all he saw outside the window was a plain brick wall. He was very confused. What happened to the grass, the plants, the apples, the birds, and the people doing interesting things? He asked the nurse, who then told him that Kareem was actually blind and he could not actually see anything. He would just describe these things to make his friend feel good. Adil then thanked Allah for his eyes he had and prayed a fatih for his beloved friend Kareem. Now, the moral of this story, what do you think this story tells us? Let's have a look. Sometimes we think something is unfair and we do not know the whole story, okay? So we just sometimes feel like it's not fair. Maybe something happened, one of your friends got a toy or something that you really, really wanted for a long time and you think, oh, that's not fair. But actually, maybe something else is coming to you that's bigger and better, or maybe it's something, you know, it has a different, it means something different to them than it does to you. So even though we sometimes feel that things are unfair, we don't really know the whole story. So we should try and appreciate what we have rather than complaining about maybe what we think we should have, okay? Allah is always fair. He gives something to everybody, okay? Maybe if someone got something and you didn't get something, it might be because you didn't need it at that time. So, and then Allah will give you something even better at another time. So he is always fair and just, and we have to believe in that. So we should never go around saying, oh, that's so unfair and this is not fair. When we want to compare things or we feel like someone's got more than us, we should always try and appreciate what we have. Just thank Allah for what you have and think that Allah is just and he will give me what I need and when I need it, okay? All right, so moving on. Adala, which one do you think? What does Adala mean? Is it A, Allah is fair and just? Is it B, Allah is unfair? Or C, Allah is kind? What I might do now is I'll unmute somebody and I'll ask them. So let's have a look at my list. Ali Abbas, can you tell me, I'm going to unmute you, can you tell me what does Adala mean? Which one, A, B, or C? Do you know Abbas? Ali Abbas, sorry. No. Okay, let's try someone else. Ali Shah, can you tell me? Ali Shah, what does Adala mean?
100.
What does Adala mean?
She's asking what does Adala mean. Can you answer her?
A, B, Allah is just, fair and just. Yes, well done. Thank you. Well done. Let's have question number 2. Sometimes we think things are unfair, but A, they are actually fair, or B, they are unfair. Which one do you think? Let's have Bina Ali. Can you tell me?
A, they are actually fair.
Yes, excellent. Thank you very much. Well done. It looks like you were listening carefully too there. Well done. Excellent. Okay. Number 3. Allah is just means that he is always what? What word can we use? Dua, could you tell us? Allah is just means he is always what?
He is always fair.
Yes, excellent. Well done, Dua. He is always fair. Brilliant. Let's move on to number 4. Why did the man by the window lie about what he saw? Was it because he was mean? Because he felt like it? Or he wanted to make his friend feel good? Let's ask Erum Nakwi. Can you tell me which one do you think it is?
I missed your question.
Oh, okay. So why did the man by the window lie about what he saw? Was it because he was mean, that he felt like it, or that he wanted to make his friend feel better? Do you want to try, or should I ask someone else? Let's ask Hasnain. Do you know?
C.
Yep. Yeah. What did he want to do?
He wanted to make his friend feel good.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Well done. And number 5, Adala is one of the what? The Suladin or the Fluadin? Hina Rizvi, can you tell me? Do you think it's Suladin or Fluadin?
A.
Yes, correct. Well done. So it is one of the Suladin. Excellent. Thank you. Well done, everyone. Now let's move on. We're going to talk about Nabuwa now. So Nabuwa means prophethood. So prophet or Nabis in Islam means that the one who is sent by Allah to guide us. Okay, so Allah sent many, many prophets, and I'm sure we mentioned it last week as well. He sent us 124,000 prophets to guide us. Now, the first prophet was Prophet Adam alayhi salam, and the last prophet is Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And between that, obviously, there were 122,000 prophets. In the Quran, they have mentioned 25 of them. So we don't know the names of all of these prophets. However, in the Quran, they have mentioned 25 of them. So we are going to listen to a nasheed about the names of the prophets. So it comes up with the names. So if you'd like to join in, I think it would be nice if you can join in. I'm just going to change the screen that I'm sharing with you. And hopefully you can see that now. And listen carefully.
والسلام على الرسول والأنبياء المرسلين كلهم مكرمون. Blessings be upon Nabi, peace be upon the messenger and the prophets who were sent. All of them were honored. Adam, Idris, Nuh, Saleh, Ibrahim, Lut, Ismail, Ishaq, Yaqub, Yusuf, Ayyub, Shu'aib, Musa, Harun, Dhul Kifli, Dawood, Sulaiman, Ilyas, Al-Yas'a, Yunus, Zakaria, Yahya, Isa, والآخر الختم الأنبياء محمد المصطفى.
Right, okay, I hope you enjoyed listening to that. Those were the 25 names of the prophets that we know. It would be interesting to know from you all how many of the names you know already. Some of them we hear quite a lot. So Prophet Isa and Prophet Musa alayhi salam, we hear their names quite a lot, so we're quite used to them. But some of them are quite new names as well that you may not have heard before. All right. It's good to know the prophets, obviously, and while you're reading the Quran, while you're reciting the Quran, the names will come up. And it'll be good if you learn the stories about those prophets from the Quran. There's lots of different stories about different prophets. So with Prophet Yunus alayhi Islam, you have the story of the whale. I'm just thinking of another example. You've got my mind's gone blank quickly. Let me think of a name and then I'll tell you, oh, Prophet Musa, or you might say Moses, you know, the story of the basket. So they all have different prophet stories to go with them, okay? Now, I've got some names here that I would like you to unscramble, okay? So they've been mixed up and you have to work out which prophet name it is. I have a feeling that the chat facility has been disabled because I think some of you are not using it sensibly. If admin can hear me, would you be able to enable everyone to write? Sure if I can do it. Yes, okay, you can write. So the first one is Prophet Adam alayhi salam. Well done. And the next one is Prophet Muhammad. Well done, Sajad. You got that. Soraya. Well done, Abdullah, I think. Sorry, the names are going so fast. I can't work out what you've written. Who's written it? Okay, what about the fourth one? Which prophet is the fourth one? Yes, Zahra. Well done, Isa. Prophet Isa alayhi salam. And the last one, which prophet is that? Yes, exactly. Well done. So the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. Okay, good. So like we said, it's good to know the names of all of the prophets, well, the 25 that we know. Maybe sit down after the lesson today or during the day tomorrow and work out which names, how many names you know and how many more you can learn, okay? Right, now we'll move on to imams, imama. So imams are the leaders sent by Allah who guide us after the death, of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And we remember this in the kalma, when we say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, Aliyun Waliullah, Rasulullah. So in that we mention that the first Imam, Imam Ali alayhi salam, is the next guide after Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So I like it says here, say the first Imam is Imam Ali alayhi salam, and the last Imam is Imam Mahdi, who is our present Imam and is still living. May Allah protect him. Okay, right. Here's an activity that you can do over the week. There is a picture of a ship, but you don't have to represent it in this way. One thing I'd like you to do over the week is represent or find a way to represent or write down the 12 Imams' names. Okay, so here they've got a boat. It's like the ship of Prophet Nuh alayhi salam. And in it says to put in 12 flags with the names of the Imams, the 12 Imams. Now the Elabet are like the ship of the Prophet Nuh alayhi salam. Whoever gets on it will be saved, and whoever doesn't will drown. So that's like with us, if we follow the Imams and we listen to what they have asked us to do, inshallah, we too will be saved, okay? So that's an activity that you can work on. And now we've got the names of the 12 Imams. Now, some of you may know the names, some of you may know only a few. Some of you might know all the names, but not in order. But it's very good, and we should all know the names of the 12 Imams and also in the correct order. So we know the first Imam leading on to the last Imam, okay? Imam Al-Mahdi, Al-Jalwaja, the 12th Imam. So again, we've got some more names. So in today's session, we seem to be covering a lot of names. I want you to, but I like this initiative. Well, it's just the names of the Imams. I want you to listen to this, and hopefully it will help you to learn the Imams.
The Imams we love so dearly. By repeating them over and over again, we will learn them all, you will see. Let's learn the names of our 12 Imams, the Imams we love so dearly. By repeating them over and over again, we will learn them all, you will see.
So listen to all the names now.
Imam Ali, Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein, Imam Ali, Zain al-Abidin, Imam Muhammad al-Baqir, Imam Jaffar al-Sadiq, Imam Musa al-Kadhim, Imam Ali al-Rida, Imam Muhammad al-Taqi, Imam Ali al-Naqi, Imam Hassan Askari, Imam Muhammad al-Mahdi. Come repeat them once again with me.
Okay, so if you don't know the names of the Imams, I'd like you to try and find a way to help you to learn all 12 names, because it's very important. All right. And well done if you do know all of them. Make sure you know them in order. And obviously, if you know all 12 names, it's a good thing to then start to learn more about them. Okay, normally we know a lot about Imam Ali alayhi salam and Imam Hussein alayhi salam because we talk about the events of Karbala. But it's very good to know the stories and the events that took place in the times of the other Imams as well. All right. So here we have an activity. You need to find the letters in the box for the first Imam. Okay, so find the letters. Okay, I'm going to let you annotate on the screen. However, if anyone's being silly on the screen, then we will have to stop that facility. Okay, so I'm going to allow that now, and you can then find the letters in the boxes, shade them in, or just put a circle around that letter and show us on the screen. Thank you. Well done. So we have Aline. Right, yeah, thank you, Imam Ali. Okay. So unfortunately, some people are being a bit silly with that facility, and that's quite a shame, actually. I'm going to have to ask admin to maybe talk to those people who have been silly on the screen. The names do come up, and I think some, well done, thank you to those children who marked on the words correctly onto the screen. It's a shame those children who are not following the rules, like drawing on the screen when you've not been asked to, and when you are doing having chats when you've been told not to chat, you are actually spoiling it for everybody else in the session who is listening and doing what they are meant to do. So please stop doing it. Otherwise, I'll ask for you to be removed. Thank you. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to have to clear the screen. Right. Okay, so it was Imam Ali, and those children who marked it on, we've got Ali going along this way, A-L-I, and we have Imam I-A-M-A-M, Imam Ali. And he was our first Imam. Okay, so always remember that. Right. Yeah, sorry, Abdul, Abdul, I think it is. He said he didn't get a chance to write on the board, and it's a shame. I'm sorry, Abdul, but some children were writing on the screen, so we had to stop that. Hopefully next time children will be more sensible, and then we can keep it on for longer. Right. We don't need to do that one today. I think you've done this one last week, because I'm going to move on. This is an activity that you can do over the week. You can do something like I said, write the names of the imams. We looked at the boat. You could make a ship, but also this one's quite nice. You could get a paper plate or a circle, and you can then put the names of the imams around the side. Okay, excellent, well done. I'd like you to do that as your first activity, and you've got the page numbers there. So you can look up the pages that we've spoken about today, and you can do the activities in the book. Okay. All right, I'm going to have to stop the chat, unfortunately, again, because some people are being silly. Okay, now let's move on. We're going to talk about Salah now. We're looking at fiqh, the Islamic laws, and moving on to Salah. Now, we spoke about Furu'ad-Din, which is the branches of our religion. So we had Usul-ad-Din as our roots and Furu'ad-Din, which are our branches. And as we've discussed before, the first of Furu'ad-Din, and the one that we are looking at the moment, is Salah, and it means praying 5 times a day. Okay, so I'm going to choose somebody to tell me. Can somebody tell me what is the next Furu'ad-Din? If we're going in order, what would the next one be? Let's have Shazia Shah. Can you tell me what is the next Furu'ad-Din?
Psalm.
Okay, excellent. Well done. Thank you, Shazia. And that is what we are all doing these days, or our families are doing if you're not doing it yet at the moment, if you're too young. Yes, it is that we are fasting. Well done. And what is the next one? Let's have Yasmin Ali. Can you tell me what's the next Furu'ad-Din? No? Let's see, I can't unmute you for some reason. If you can unmute yourself, then please unmute yourself. It's not letting me. Let's ask somebody else then. Zara Suleiman, can you tell me what is the next Furu'ad-Din? Maybe some of you are having problems in unmuting yourself. Let me try someone else. Sayed Rizvi, can you tell me? Do you know what the next Furuddin is? Okay, I think some people are having issues with. It's not letting me unmute you.
Hajj.
Okay, Hajj, thank you. Okay, it wasn't letting me unmute, but okay, now I can unmute. Okay, thank you, Hajj, and that means going to Makkah for pilgrimage. And then we've got zakat. So let's have someone tell me what zakat is. Nadia Shah, can you tell me what does zakat mean? Zakat. Do you know, Nadia? You remember? Okay, let's try Rabia. Rabia Hussein. What does zakat mean? No, okay, let's have Hur and Sajad. Shah, can you tell me what does zakat mean?
To give charity, 1/5.
Okay, thank you very much. It means to give charity. Now you said 1/5, but let's look at the next one first. So giving charity on certain items to the needy Muslims. Now the next one is khums, and actually that's the one where we give 1/5, but they are both giving charity. So thank you, well done, Hur and Sajid. But remember that khums is the one where you give 1/5 of your savings. Okay, thank you, well done. Then we spoke about wudu last week, and we spoke about actions being mustahab and wajib actions. So mustahab actions were the ones that were recommended. You get reward for doing them, but you don't have to. And wajib are the ones that you must do, okay? So we went through the process of doing wudu. So let me see if I can choose somebody to tell me. How about you raise your hand if you would like to tell us the steps of making wudu, the wajib wudu. If you raise your hand, then I know that you're ready. Okay, Abdul Yari, is it? Can I unmute you and you will tell us? Oh, it's not letting me unmute you for some reason. Can you unmute yourself? Or does that not work? No, okay, let me try and unmute. Mariam Batul, do you know? Mariam Batul, do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so can you tell us the stages of making wudu?
The wajib ones.
Yes, please.
So first you do the niyyah, the attention, and then you wash your face, then the arms, then the massage of head, and then the massage of feet.
Okay, thank you very much. Well done. Thank you. So hopefully you all remembered that. Now we're going to move on to Salah, okay? In total, Salah, when we pray Salah in our day, there are 17 rakahs that we pray throughout the day. So not in one time, but during the day, you have a total of 17 rakahs. So in Fajr, there are 2 rakahs. In Dhuhr, you have 4 rakahs. In Asr, you have 4 rakahs. And Maghrib, for which the time is coming up for soon, we have 3 rakahs. And Isha, there are 4 rakahs. So some people like to say that this is like a special number for you to call Allah. So obviously you can't really call Allah, but this is a number that you have in order to connect with Allah. Okay, so when you dial this number, when you pray and you read these salahs on time, then you are contacting or speaking to Allah. All right, so remember that 24434. Okay. Now, write the numbers of rakahs for each salah in the butterflies. So the Fajr salah, how many rakahs are there in the Fajr salah? So in Fajr we have 2. Let me ask somebody about Zohar. Shazin, is it Shazin? Shazin Bukhari? Okay, for some reason, some people, I'm unable to unmute some of you. I can unmute some, but not everyone. How about Mariam Batul? Can you tell me? No, it won't let me mute anyone. Yeah.
Asr has 4 rakats.
Okay, thank you very much. Who was that? Sorry, what's your name? I think they've gone. Okay, it's got 4. Well done. And how many are there in Asr? Rifat, can you tell me how many rakahs are there in Asr?
4.
Okay, thank you very much. Not sure if that was Rifat, but I think it was someone else, but that's fine, doesn't matter. Okay, and how many are there in Maghrib? We have 3. Okay, it's come up anyway. And in Isha, I will just finish off, is a 4 rakahs. Okay, so in total, if you add them all up, you would get 17 rakahs. Right, so here's the connection with the Quran. So Salah is mentioned many times in the Holy Quran, and it means to remember Allah. So, and offer Salah to remember me. When you take that time out of your day, you stop everything you're doing, whether you're watching TV or playing a game or doing some work, you stop that and you go to speak to Allah, you go for your special time with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you are remembering Him during that time. So it's a special time between you and Allah. So we shouldn't waste it. We shouldn't rush it. We should take our time and pray nicely and really appreciate that time that you have to make that link with Allah. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us 5 times a day, so that I know we probably read it maybe 3 times a day because we read some together like Zohar and Asr and Maghrib and Isha, but it means that at that time we're stopping everything that we're doing, and we are concentrating on our Salah and our God, and that's quite nice. If you go to, I'm sure maybe you've all been to Islamic countries, or maybe if you went for Umrah in Saudi, you'll notice that at the time of Salah, everything stops. So once the azan has gone, the shops would close. And this is a really nice, obviously it helps you to stop everything and to pray. But here in our countries, it can be a bit more difficult because we have to stop what we're doing, but we should try and stop and pray our Salah as soon as we can, okay? Now I have a crossword here with the names of the Salahs. Let me see, I'm not sure if the chat is still on. I don't think it is. Okay, I think I can change it. Yeah, so you can chat now. So I want you to tell me which Salah is it that begins with D. Can you write the word for the Salah that begins with D? Zohar, well done. Some of you might say Zohar, some of you might say Zohar because of the pronunciation. Well done, thank you very much. Now, how about this one that's going down? Now, it doesn't have the start letter, so it's a little bit more difficult. Which one do you think this one is going down? Well done, Mushtaq. You got that straight away. Rajab, Maghrib, sorry. You got Maghrib, Shaista, Maghrib, yeah? Okay. Very good, well done. Now, Rifat was saying, I just need to say that you are not writing the correct things in the box. If you continue to do that, then I'm going to have to remove you from here. You need to write the answers. If you don't know the answers, then please don't write anything. Same as Moses Shah, we don't need that. Right. What name of Salah goes across the site, beginning with F? What name for Salah beginning with F? What's the first Salah of the day? Oops. It is Fajr, well done. Thank you. And how about this one going across? It's just got an H there. So what Salah goes in there? Which Salah is it? Yes, Isha, correct. And how about the last one going down? It's got the smallest amount of letters. What name is that? Asr, well done. Okay, thank you very much. You've all been able to get the right words there. Okay, all right, let's move on. Now, when you pray salah, it's very important when you go down into sujood, so that's when you are on the ground, on the floor, that 7 parts of your body are touching the floor. So I want you to think about that when you are praying next, that all 7 parts of the body touching the ground. Now, the first one is your forehead. So your forehead should actually be on the sajda or the durba that you have, that should be touching that, okay? Then you have your both hands. So you have 3 things there, your forehead and your 2 hands. They should be down flat on the floor, the hands. Then your 2 knees should be touching the floor, and also your big toes. So obviously you have 2 knees and you have 2 big toes. So these would, altogether, you would have 7 parts of your body touching the ground when you pray salah. All right, so remember that as you pray salah. Now we're going to talk about the positions in salah. So there are many positions in salah, different positions as you pray. We're going to go through those positions. So the first one there is Takbiratul Ihram, which means that you are saying Allahu Akbar. You put your hands straight next to your ears, and the fingers closed, so don't have them apart, have them together, and you say Allahu Akbar. In the picture you can see that there is a boy and a girl, because sometimes the positions are a little bit different if you are a boy or if you're a girl. Okay, then you have the position of Qiyam, which is when you are standing up straight in front of the Qibla, and you are ready to start to pray your salah. So you've said Allahu Akbar and you are then going to start reciting. During this time, you should stand absolutely still, even, try not to itch and fix your thing, and just stand quite nicely and still. Keep your feet together for the girls, and for the boys, you can keep them a little bit apart. And your palms, the inside of your hands, should be on your thighs, so at the top of your legs, so that you can stand up straight with your arms on the side. And during this time, you will be reciting Surah Al-Fatiha and another surah. Okay, so that is the time, and that period is called, that position is called Qiyam. Then we have the Ruku, and if you have a look, the Ruku for the girls and the boy is slightly different. Because here the boys are expected to bend at about right angle, so they go a bit further down, and the palms on the knees. And the girl there, you can see she's not bent down so much. Her knees are slightly bent, with the palms on her thighs there. Okay, so it's not all the way down to the knees. So it's a slight difference. So whether you're a girl or a boy, you need to stand in that position. Right. Then next we have sujood, and obviously that is when you go down into sujood with your head on the turba and the 7 parts of the body is touching the ground at that time. All right, and we're not going into too much detail about what you recite at the time, because that comes in the other books. At the moment in our book, in book 2, we're just looking at the specific positions. Now the next position we have is the qunut, which is when you raise your hands to make dua. So it says to raise them about face level in order to make dua. Okay, and here we have all the positions there. So you have, this needs to be joined up actually. So we need to look at which positions they are. What I'm going to do then is going to choose some children to tell me which position they are. So Mariam Batul, can you tell me what position is the first person in? So it's a boy there. What position is he in?
Sajda.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Well done. Now the girl in the second position, second place, second in the line there. What position is she in? Abs Shah, can you tell me? What do we call that position in Salah? Do you know? Have a go, it doesn't matter. Have a go. It doesn't matter if it's wrong, just what do you think it is? Which one?
Qiyamah.
Yes, excellent. Well done. It's Qiyamah. Well done. So standing up and you're praying your Salah in that position, and it's called Qiyamah. Right, Adnan Ali, can you tell me what's the third position? Adnan Ali, can you tell me? Oh, okay, I'm not sure. I couldn't hear you there. Let's try another girl this time. Bina Ali, can you tell me what position is this boy in?
The boy is in the ruku.
Excellent. Well done. Good girl. He is in ruku. And let's have Hasnain for the next one. What position is that? Hasnain Tarabi, what position is this girl in?
Qiyam.
Yeah, she's got her hands raised. What do we call it when you're making dua with your hands raised? Yeah, Qunut. Yes, that's correct. Qiyam is when you're standing. It's the second position there, when you're standing up straight with your hands down your side. Okay, thank you. Well done. And Hasnain, can you tell me what is the last one? What do we call the last one?
Yeah, she said.
No, she said his name.
The last one. What do you think the last one is?
Takbiratul Ihram.
Okay, Takbirat al-Ihram. Well done. Thank you very much. Excellent. Okay, now let's move on. I haven't got much time. There's a quiz. Hello, can you hear me? I think I'm back in. I'm so sorry. It looks like my battery died and the computer turned off. But it didn't take too long to turn back on. Hopefully we should be okay now. Let me share the screen with you again and just finish off on the slides that we were looking at. We had got to the quiz. Okay. Right, I think you all know this now. So let's just have a quick question. What does mustahib bring? Mustahib, you don't need to do it, it's better to do it. Sabah Shah, can you tell us? Or Iman Kazmi, can you tell me? It's not letting me unmute anyone now.
Pardon?
Can you tell me what does mustahib mean?
Mustahab, it means you must do it.
You must do it. Not quite. Have another go. If it's not, you must do it.
It is better to do it.
That's correct. Well done. It's better to do it. Okay, well done. Now, let's see if we remember from last week. Washing the face is wajib or mustahib? Akbar Bakari, we haven't heard from you today. Can you tell us?
Wajib.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. It is the beginning, one of the first steps after the niyyah. We must wash our face. Well done. Thank you. How about washing of the mouth? Is that wajib or mustahib? Fatima Hadi, can you tell us? Washing of the mouth.
Mustahib.
Yeah, excellent. Well done. It's one of the three actions that are mustahib at the beginning of making wudu. Thank you very much. Well done, Fatima. Now the adhan tells us, what does it tell us? That it's time for salah or that salah time is over? Mariam Raza, can you tell us? Mariam Raza?
It's time for salah.
Excellent, well done. So adhan tells us that it's time for salah. Now iqama means, what does iqama mean? Mateen, there, can you tell us Iqama means call to salah or time for salah. Not sure if we covered the Iqama. So once you for the adhan, that means that it's time for salah. So what do you think Iqama is then?
Salah.
Yeah, it's the call for salah. So it's saying that it's time. It's not a call to salah. Sorry, it's the time for salah. So the adhan is the call. So it's saying it's coming up to the time. But then as soon as Iqama has started or is said, it means that you need to pray salah. Then that it's at the time. It's then to pray salah. Okay, and when you pray in the mosques, maybe you will notice that first the adhan is called, and then everyone gathers together. And then as soon as the Iqama is recited, and as soon as it's the last line, everybody stands up and starts reciting. So it's its exact time for salah, to read the salah. Okay, thank you very much. Well done. Okay, so the homework for this section is I'd like you to design a poster for the different steps of salah. Okay, so you draw the different positions. You can, if you're a girl, you can concentrate on the positions for a girl, and if you're a boy, you can concentrate on the positions for a boy. But generally, the names of each position is the same. Okay, it's just about how you bend or where your feet are. So if you want to put that detail in as well, you can do. All right. Okay. Well done, everybody. Thank you for listening today. And again, sorry, the book page numbers are there. So if you want to do the pages from the book, it's up there so that you can have a look at that, inshallah. Okay, so I think we're just going to move on to the dua. You are welcome to leave after listening to the dua. I hope you have a good week, and inshallah we'll see you again next week. Okay, listen to the dua, and obviously it'd be good if you can join in. I seem to be having technical issues today. It doesn't want to work. I will try and play it on the other screen. Okay, it's just coming.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك وتمتعه فيها تبينا.
And that's the end of our session today. I hope you have a good week, inshallah, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Okay.
Hafiz.
Thank you for joining.